Hiya, so I thought I'd start the cloth nappy process by showing you what you need before you start. That way you can make sure you've got everything you need before you start going through the tutorials and learning how to make them. The pattern I'm going to be using to show you how to make the cloth nappies is the Made by Jack's Mum. Now what she's done currently is on the Facebook page, so it's the sewing group page, not her business page, the group where everyone discusses what patterns they've made and shows pictures and learns hacks and stuff. On that page she has a link where you can download the pattern for free, and she's done that in recognition that the current coronavirus issues where people can't buy nappies in the shops has meant that a few people have thought towards moving to make their own cloth nappies, so therefore she's made this pattern free currently. I don't know how that long's going to last for, but obviously if you're interested in making them for whatever reason, now will be the time to access that pattern. So what you do first off is you print your pattern. So this is the booster, and what you do is you get prints on different pages, always print it to actual size, and then I sellotape them together. So that's that bit, that's the booster, and then this is the actual nappy bit itself, and that is cut on the fold. So what you can do is cut this pattern out. Some people like to keep this as a master copy and then they trace off the pattern. If you had printed one with all different sizes on it, then that would be a good option to print off the size that you needed. This nappy in particular is one size fits all, basically goes from newborn to potty training. You see here there's dots. This is where you put your cam snaps, and you can pull these up to make them smaller, bigger. So this nappy basically grows with your child. So that's the pattern. When I buy patterns as PDF and have them on my laptop, I only ever print the actual pattern pieces, and then I use the laptop when I'm sewing to show me the instructions if I don't know how to make it. So that's the first bit. So I talked about cam snaps. You need a lot of cam snaps for these sort of nappies. There are lots of other patterns. If you want to access another pattern from anywhere that has Velcro or even different pattern poppers, obviously there's loads out there, so have a look. Generally the nappies are kind of all made the same. There might be a few variations depending on the designer. So these are cam snaps. Cam snaps come in 3 parts. This is like your outer stud bit. It's got like a little point on it. Try to show you properly. Little point in the middle, and then I've got a bit of each. There's the female half, which is the receptor. It takes the male half, which is this one, and then you need the tool in order to put it in. You can buy these from most good fabric and haberdashery places. If you don't have one near you, can obviously buy them online. I get mine, all my cam snaps and stuff, from Sewing Fabric in St Austell. You come in all different colours, so I've got blues and whites and blacks and yellows and greens and oranges and all sorts. Cam snaps. Okay, so the other thing you need is elastic. Some patterns will specify swim grade, clear elastic, underwear elastic, but what you do need is about the width to be about 9 to 10 millimeters wide. You can use a sewing machine to make them. I find it easier and better on an overlocker, but you do have an overlock stitch on your sewing machine, which I'll get to another time. Depends on what you have and what you prefer. So when we're looking at materials, we'll talk about the outer material first. So a lot of people like to use microfiber. This is microfiber, like really soft, and it looks really nice on babies' bums, and it just feels lovely. You don't have to. On the outer side you can use pretty much anything. You can use your quilting weights, you can use that one, Minky, you can use normal cottons, you can use, so this is a cotton, just a normal pink cotton fabric. Then there's stretch fabric, so this is one that I bought by the meter. I've used it for kids clothing, so I've got a piece left, and this wider bit here on the fold will be enough for one side of the nappy, which I think would be quite cute. Quite nice print, quite loud. This is another stretch. You can see you get a bit of stretch. Left over from another project, so that's a nice teal colour. It's all different options, entirely up to you and what you like. This pattern has a square marked on it, which is the placement for a plique or embroidery if you're so inclined. People make them for happy birthdays and happy Halloween, and I have them at dolls and stuff, which is quite cute. And then after the outer fabric, you'll need a PUL layer, which is the waterproof kind of plasticky layer that stops any body fluids from seeping through to the clothing. So you can get it in various formats. This one's a bit shiny on one side, not on the other. I use this in cloth sanitary pads as well, and I also use this in training pants for toddlers who are potty training. The one in the sewn fabric is lovely because it's got a terry one side and then the plastic side the other. So that's the PUL layer. And then the Made by Jack's Mum pattern specifies a micro fleece or a suede cloth. I use terry purely because I prefer it. I love the look of terry on babies. It's lovely. Essentially, if you're making cloth nappies and you've got a PUL layer and an inner layer, you don't really need the outside. And if you look, you can buy PUL with nice prints and stuff on, so you don't really need the 3 layers. You can have 2 and it still work, because the PUL layer is the layer that will stop the mess from getting through to the clothing. So you can also get this, which is the PUL as well, which is nice, which I just mentioned, which is handy. I'd still use 2 layers with that one, just because an extra layer is a bit more protection. So on this pattern, you get to make a booster. A lot of people use boosters in cloth nappies. You can't rely just on those layers alone. So you tend to get like sometimes they look like a large cloth sanitary pad. Sometimes they're like 3-fold, so you have like a channel in the middle which is thicker with the absorbing layer, and then 2 bits that fold over to give you a bit more protection that goes from front to back. You can make even more layers and liners for heavy wetters and bed wetters, which is mentioned in this pattern, which I could go through with you later. When I'm making a booster, I tend to use the same product I use in cloth sanitary pads because it's really absorbent, and that helps keep babies that's what the microfiber does as well, to a degree, wicks the urine away from the child to help keep their skin dry, and then hold the liquid in the layers, and that's this stuff. So it's just the cotton batting, bamboo or charcoal, which you can use for cloth sanitary pads or nappies, and that's generally how it's advertised. So that's the layers that you need. The next part is cutting out your fabric and collecting everything you need to get started. So what I will do is my next video will be the cutting out and gathering resources, like showing you how much you need of everything, like your elastic and stuff. And then we'll move on to making them. I'll be using an overlocker, and some bits are done on a sewing machine. It's entirely which one you use, but this is the first bit done. So that's all the materials you would need for cloth nappies. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next part. Bye bye.